Hello Internet, I'm Matt Haas and this is Awesome Wood Things. I built a cool sign with glowing letters. And the best thing about it is, the front is removable, held on by magnets. I want to give a big thank you to Cris over at Get Hands Dirty. She did a light box with this technique. And Steve Carmichael from the Carmichael Workshop, he did a similar project and posted the link to purchase these LED strips. And I was surprised at just how affordable they are. They're really cool. Stick around, I'll show you how I made this.
I found this board on the side of the road and I planned to use it for the box. It was obviously used for something else, I'm not sure what, nail holes, and this horrible crack along the edge. So I wanted to take off about an inch to make this nice and straight. But when I put it up against my fence, you can see the board is crooked. It's higher here, so it can't lay predictably flat against the fence, and that's an unsafe operation as you rip the board past the blade. The goal is to have usable wood in this space.
I used a table saw jig that I built to joint the edge of this board, and that did a good job cleaning it up. After cutting it into strips, I cut the strips to size and then ran a dado on the bottoms. This dado will accept the back of the box. If I was building a drawer, it would be the drawer bottom. Then I found a piece of scrap MDF and cut that to size for the back. And this was really beat up, but it doesn't matter because I covered it in spray adhesive, attached tinfoil to it, and cut the tinfoil down, and it looks really nice, reflective back. After dry fitting all of the pieces, I used CA glue to attach everything, and then painter's tape to make sure the wood didn't move. Then I needed a hole to plug the LEDs into the power outlet. Surprisingly, there was no blowout on the opposite side of the board. And then brad nails just for good measure. Then I moved on to the glass and had a horrible accident. I was wearing a full face shield and it was totally my fault, but of course I blame Berkey, as we all should when things go wrong. Off to the dollar store and bought a picture frame, threw everything away, and then I needed the glass to be a bit smaller, so I marked where I needed to cut it and then scored it several times. And this first attempt wasn't perfect, so I score it again and give it another try. This was better, and then knocked off a few stragglers, and I'm calling this close enough. I used two-part epoxy to attach the glass to the sign surface. I used my X-Carve to cut out the letter shapes, and this grabbed pretty quickly on its own. Then I put the inside shapes in and got that one the wrong way. I made sure not to get any epoxy on the surface of the sign because that would have been a complete mess. So thankfully that didn't happen. I finish up the shapes here and it looks good. Now I thread the LED strip through the hole I made and remove the wax paper back, and there's adhesive on the opposite side. I made sure not to have any hard 90-degree angles because I didn't want to damage the electronics. And after 2 passes, I found the safe point where you can cut the strip. It's marked where you're allowed to. Attached it, fired it up, success. The first test fit, I noticed the completely transparent glass let way too much light through. It was way too harsh. So to knock that back, I bought a piece of poster board and used Elmer's glue to attach it. And that did a good job. Then it was off to the drill press. I put a very small Forstner bit and made a small hole to accept a very small magnet. a little bit of glue in the bottom of the hole, and then you can see these very small yet very powerful neodymium magnets. Just threw it in the bottom, and once the adhesive dries, it's not going anywhere. Now here's the method to attach a magnet to an opposing surface. First, never do that manually. No matter how good you are at measuring, it will never be good enough. So you put a little piece of glue on the magnet like this, and then put your surface down on the magnet. That will align it perfectly. And you can see the rabbit shape that I originally had. The goal was to have the sign surface sit flush, and that would accept the glass piece that's a little bit larger. But I wanted some airflow, even though the LEDs don't get that hot. I put a picture hanger on the back, a nail in the wall, and a hole in the wall. I hung this just like any piece of artwork, fired it up, and I have a working sign. Now where this was positioned, it looks a little funky when the camera captures it. It foreshortens it, so I put a small piece of wood on one end, and it looks much better.